Good evening, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to Simply Stamping Sunday. I hope you've had a great weekend. I did. Oh my goodness. It just was so nice to see the sunshine, and even though it was cold and windy, it was still really nice to see the sunshine. So, it's just sad that we're at the end of the weekend. But anyway, that happens. So we're about ready to start a brand new week, and we're going to start it with the eclipse. How much fun is that? I'm just so excited about it. You know, the science teacher in me. So we are off to a brand new month of Simply Stamping Sunday. Let me just try to get that light. It's not going to go away. We are going to be using this month the Textured Floral stamp set. And I just absolutely adore this stamp set. So we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun making the samples this weekend for the whole month. And we're going to start like we normally do on the first week of the month with just some basic stamping. We are going to add a little twist into one of the cards tonight, which will be fun just to add some texture to the card. But there are lots of possibilities with this set. So tonight's cards, let me show you what we're going to be doing tonight. So what we're going to do that's going to be a little different this month from other months is that each week I am choosing a color palette, and we're going to be using just those colors for the cards. And for tonight, I've chosen Bubble Bath, Moody Mauve, and Old Olive. So those are the only colors we're going to use, and we're going to use them on both cards. So our first card looks like this. So pretty. I just think it's such a simple and fun classic card. And then our second card, where we're going to add a little bit of texture, is this card here. And I've also tilted the main focal point. And I'm not sure if you can see where I've added the texture here, so I'll bring it up a little bit closer. So you'll see how we do that in just a couple of minutes. So, like I said, I'm very excited for the different projects I have to share with you this month. And as well as at the end of the month, we are going to be creating our own designer series paper using this stamp set. And we're going to actually, from the piece we create, we're going to create 5 different cards. So that will be a lot of fun too. So first things first, for this first card, you are going to need, actually for both of these cards, the base is going to be basic white thick cardstock. And you're going to need a piece that is 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And we're going to fold that in half and give it a good burnish with our bone folder. And let me just set that aside. Oops, let me just... Sorry, something hit my computer and the volume came on. So we got that stopped. Okay, so I'm going to start with just doing some stamping. So I am going to start with my Bubble Bath ink. And all of the flowers are going to be stamped in this ink. So I'm going to start with my large, I think it's a rose, maybe not, my large flower. And then right beneath it, I'm going to add the medium-sized flower. And then off to the side, I'm going to add the last floral image. And I like this one because it kind of curves around, so I can put it on a little bit sideways. There we go. We've got our flowers all in our Bubble Bath. I'm going to take out my Moody Mauve, which is one of the current in colors, and we're going to add some of the centers to the flowers with this. There we go. I'm going to add the greeting. I love this greeting. It says, "Every thought of you makes me smile." So this is going to go right towards the bottom right of the piece of white cardstock. This piece measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And now let's add some of our green. The stamping is going to be really easy with this step. Everything coordinates, fits well. I'm going to use both different types of leaves on the 2 cards tonight. There we go. And our card is just about done. So now I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to take a piece of Moody Mauve cardstock, which measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So it's just a tad bigger than this piece of basic white cardstock. And then this is going to go on the front of the card. And our first card is done. That's how quick and easy you can create something with this set. So here is card number 1. Let's set that aside and let's go with card number 2. So again, this is the card that we'll be making using the same stamps, just little different look. So again, we're going to start with a piece of 5 1/2 by 8 1/4. 8 1/2, I mean. 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 piece of basic white cardstock. And I have here a piece of bubble bath cardstock that measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then I have 3 pieces of bubble bath that measures 1/8 by 5 inches. So I'm going to turn these onto the back side. I'm using, you can see how glue just comes right off of that. I'm using my silicone mat because these are pretty small pieces, and if I get any glue down on it, it will just dry. So I'm going to grab my liquid glue, and on all of these, I'm just going to start putting some little dots. Whoops, that's a pretty big little dot. So let's just pull that out, wipe off that finger, and we'll start again. Just not with that big of a dot. So I'm just adding a little dot every so often. And we're going to put this down towards the bottom third of the piece of bubble bath. And it's a little longer. That's okay. I'm going to cut it off afterwards. So I'm going to put one there, then I'm going to go one above and one below. So let's go with our other little dabs of glue. I just took scraps of my bubble bath and cut them. But this is a really easy way to add some texture to your cards. And it's also a nice way, you know, if you don't have ribbon or want to put ribbon on, it's another way that you can just use your scraps to get this really nice look to a front of a card. There we go. And then I'm just going to take a pair of paper snips and trim those off. And then you can see what it looks like. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, let's move my silicone mat. Now this is going to go right on the front of our Whisper White, excuse me, our basic white thick cardstock. I'm so excited. I was able to place my pre-order with the new catalog last week, and it's shipped, and it's going to arrive either tomorrow or Tuesday. I can't remember each day. So I will definitely have I will make a video of my unboxing because it'll just be too much fun. All right, let's get all of this out of the way. All right, so now we're ready to do some stamping. So I'm going to pretty much do the same thing that I did before, though this time I'm going to start with my Old Olive, and I'm going to use the larger leaves that go right underneath the larger flower. So I'm going to stamp that right here, almost right in the middle of my cardstock. And this piece here is, I don't think I said, it is a 3 1/2 by 3 3/4 piece of cardstock. So that's with the Old Olive. And then I'm going to take my bubble bath again. And I'm going to stamp this right onto the green leaves. There we go. And then using my Moody Mauve, I am going to stamp the larger flowers. There we go. I'm going to use the bubble bath to stamp the center of the smaller flowers. It's just going to give it a nice little look of the pink. And then I'll use the Moody Mauve on the center of the larger flower. And the Moody Mauve for our greeting, which is with a grateful heart. There we go. Now I'm going to put this on the card with dimensionals. So let me grab those. And remove the backs. And then this is going to, I'm going to tilt it so just like that. There we go. And that's our second card. So cool. I love the little texture here. So these are our 2 cards together for tonight. And again, we used Bubble Bath, Moody Mauve, and Old Olive ink to give it just this nice coordinating color. Both of these pieces of paper were almost the same size. This one is 1/8 of an inch more. It was the same size as the white. And that is it for this first week of Simply Stamping Sunday. I definitely have a shadow tonight, and I don't know where that shadow is coming from. So I'm going to have to figure that out for next week. But anyway, so I hope you have a great week. Enjoy the eclipse tomorrow if you are in the path of it. And I will see you next Sunday for another edition of Simply Stamping Sunday. And of course, I'll be back Friday night for Fun Fold Friday. Good night, everyone. Have a great week.